Welcome to the closing panel of the Side by Side Conference. How amazing is it that we are at the happiest real estate conference on earth? Let me kick off this session by sharing with you that my number one goal of the day is the same as my life and business goal, which is to have fun. And, we're a little bit biased, but we are going to try to make this the most fun panel that you've seen all week. Are you guys down? All right, you guys have to get up and dance with us. Thank you. Okay, show of hands. How many of you guys prospect to generate leads? Cold calling, just listed, just sold? Okay. How many of you buy leads from Zillow, targeted ads, Facebook? Okay. How many of you have hosted events and did not generate the leads that you were hoping to get?
All of us.
Well, we're going to help you level up your events today and talk to you a little bit about how to make that happen. Today, our panel has built extraordinary businesses based on generating leads through events. And we're going to discuss what types of events you can throw and the why behind them. And we're going to give you tips on how to convey your values, your benefits through your real estate events. Unfortunately, we're missing the beautiful Gina Piper, who couldn't make it. I know.
Give it up for Elation, though.
Yes. We have some really cool examples of her unique events, so we'll still be able to discuss that with you. But we're so happy to have Christina McCann, the founder of Chroma Realty.
Hi, everybody.
Her dress matches her logo, by the way.
My dress matches my logo. That's true. On brand all the time, at least in front of you guys.
And we have my brother from another Filipino mother, Paul Ringan. Like put a ring on it. So welcome, Ring On Homes. It's actually Ringon, but we're not going to talk about that.
It's easier for the white people, Ring on.
We just had to have a little culture. We got to add a little culture into it. I had to say it. Okay, so today we are going to introduce you guys a little bit about how we all conduct our businesses. Now, I am Melissa Sophia. I'm the founder of the Avenue Home Collective in San Diego. And I have built a business. I've been in the business for 21 years.
She started when she was 11.
I did, right out of the womb. And I've been a broker for 10. And we did almost 250 transactions last year for just under 200 million, all from Sphere, referral, and largely attributed to hosting events and keeping in contact top of mind with our clients in that way. So I'd love to introduce you to Paul and Christina. And can you guys tell us a little bit about you and your business?
Ladies first.
Sure, I'll go first. My name's Christina McCann. I run a team in the East Bay. It's called Chroma Realty. I'm a single mom, so I stay a little smaller than a lot of the other teams, and that's okay. I do focus a lot on events, and I have not paid for a lead in over 3 years, so I'm pretty proud of that fact. What else? Take it away, Paul.
There's so much to know about.
Take it away, Paul.
We're going to do plenty of talking. It's cool. My name is Paul Ringon from South Florida. We service Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and the Palm Beach area. I'm a native, which is really hard to find in South Florida. I've been there my entire life, and I have my entire team with us, accompanied by my husband and our 3 agents.
Awesome. Okay, so there are so many ways to generate leads and to build a real estate business. Paul, tell me why. Why do you choose to do it through events?
Okay, you want like the crowd answer or like the for real answer?
Always the for real answer, especially from you, although it's a little bit dicey when he gets free reign like that.
Okay, so it's like twofold. It's because I'm lazy, and I'd rather have people come to me than I go to them. And then the other answer is Florida's too hot to go door knocking.
Truth.
And I'm going to interject, like, I also want a business where people come to me. I rarely interview for my buyers or sellers anymore because by the time they get to me, they've already chosen me. And I think events of any size contribute to that greatly. It's also a heck of a lot more affordable than giving somebody money to do the work for you, because that's what you're doing when you hand your money over to Zillow. You're doing the work, and the budgets, I think, are remarkably smaller when you're doing events, especially if you're doing them wisely.
Work smart, not hard, right?
I love that.
And have fun. What?
And have fun.
We all like to have a good time on
Why
this
write a
panel.
check when you can throw a party?
Yeah.
I think that's my new mantra. So for me, the best part of using events to drive sales is because it affords me the opportunity to love what I do every day. And, I think that when you're creating events who reflect who you are, you really collect your vibe tribe, And like you said, clients come to you. And if you're hosting events that reflect you, then you know that the people are going to come to you, you're going to enjoy to work with every single day. And although money is nice, we need it for things.
Yeah.
It brings comfort. It doesn't bring happiness. And so I think to enjoy coming to work every single day, I want to work with clients that I love. And that will create a long-lasting business for me that I can continue to come back to day after day after day. So.
Well, and everybody wants to be invited to something, and nobody ever plans anything, all the way from dinners to movies to actual parties to picnics. Like, you've got this inherent personality trait inside of you, like as a realtor, most of us, to be able to bring people together. And a lot of people, they always want to say yes to an invitation, and they don't necessarily want to throw the event.
And sometimes you invite everybody and no one's showing up on time and you're like, oh great, I just threw this party and no one's coming.
That's because we're Filipino.
We'll get into the nitty-gritty of that.
Real. It's happened to me.
Yeah. So hosting events really gives you a unique opportunity to let you build relationships and provide value directly to your clients, your SOI, and the community that you're trying to connect with. People buy and sell homes with people that they know, like, and trust. So what easier or better way for them to get to know you, like you, and trust you than attending your events? When you are in person, you have the ability to be innovative, you get to show off your marketing skills, you gain rapport directly, and you get to show your clients who you are through your actions in a group setting. It saves you time and money. Even though it seems like it might take a little more effort, that effort is for having a good time.
Yeah.
But also, creativity is an interview skill that your clients are looking at for you. Like, how can you creatively get them out of their house or into their house or put a deal together? So when you're showing the community that you're creative, you're basically throwing your resume out there, and people notice that. They attach that word to you. You're a creative, community-oriented person.
Yeah.
And the reputation sticks whether or not you work on it consistently. Like, you get that reputation, and it follows you.
Yeah. You get to show off that you're well connected, that you're trusted.
That's one of the best things is, like, you can have two complete different spheres at these events that you've merged together, and you become the person that connects these dots, and they'll always reference you as that connection. So it'll come back to you maybe not the next week, but maybe 10 years from now because of that one event.
Absolutely. People ask me all the time, like, what is your superpower? My superpower is being a super connector.
Yeah.
I love to connect people together. I love it when people say to me, ooh, I met someone at your event and now we're working together. Now we're collaborating together. She's doing this. She's buying this for me. It's amazing.
Unless they're another realtor at another brokerage, and that's just weird.
Well, yeah, that's for another. Maybe you don't invite so many realtors. I'm just saying. No. So I really want you guys to think about the money that it takes to put out an effective farm, to buy leads. In my area, I don't know about you guys, but Zillow is running like about $600 a lead for the ROI right now. I'm not going to ask you about ROI, don't worry. But those aren't even guaranteed sales, right? So I can execute an entire event building potentially infinite business that's repeatable with so many more people at once for the same exact cost. So this month alone, I personally have $13 million in escrow. I counted right before I came in here from events or places that I connected, developed these clients through my events. So this is a true, real thing in my business that I use every day. What are your favorite events to throw, Paul?
I just love a good party or any reason to bring people together. I'm super social, so we...
Are you?
Maybe you saw me dancing last night, maybe you didn't. So one of the favorite things I like to do are, we call it Free Coffee Sunday, and we partner with a local coffee shop, and we literally post up. It will now be every quarter now that life is kind of back to normal. And what we do is buy whoever shows up coffee. All they have to do is let us know that they appreciate us being there. They fill out a quick form. And most of the time, we're not even pitching ourselves as real estate agents, because everyone's always like, okay, it's free. What's the catch? Mm-hmm. And we're like, we are a small local business that loves supporting our small local businesses. And this is our favorite coffee shop in the city. And we leave it there. They fill out the form. We do have a couple key things in there that help us filter and put those people into the right drip campaigns. But overall, it's a nice way to show that it's not all about you. It's about the community. So I really like community-based events. That's one of them.
I love that. And what are your favorite events to throw?
I think my upcoming event is going to be my favorite event. I felt a little bit like a fraud because I hadn't thrown an event in a while. So I planned one last week so that I would feel active and engaged in front of you guys. And I put together something called Renovation Realities 2022. And I'm partnering with my main construction contractor. She's a GC. She's amazing at what she does. And I notice on Facebook, people are constantly asking the dumbest questions about renovations. And I'm like, oh, these people, they're just so lost. They're like fish in a bucket. And so I'm putting together a taco party in my backyard. I put up an Eventbrite page. I'm sending out 1,500 invitations in the mail. Anyone who wants one, give me your card after the panel, and I will send you one so you can see what I do. And even though I have a 60-person capacity, I'm sending out 1,500 invitations just to get my name out in my sphere and the last 12 months of owners who purchased in my community, thinking, okay, these people are the ones who are most likely to still know people in San Francisco who are about to move out here with their babies. But I like looking at things really situationally. I see what people are talking about on Facebook and community groups, and I'm like, and if you can pick up on what the community wants from you, like, what are they asking questions about? What do they seem like they're ill-informed about? What are they looking for? And you can provide it. And if you have an idea or something crosses your mind, you're probably onto something. You just have to execute on it.
I love it. And did you catch that she, for a 60-person event, was sending out 1,500 invitations?
1,500.
So
I want to tell
strategy?
everybody it's sold out. You can come to the next one, and then I'll just
creates demand.
yeah. I'll do another one if we have that many.
That's great. And then just give me your address, your email, and your phone number and your name so I can get you on that list.
And on the Eventbrite, I asked, is this a forever remodel or are you looking to sell? Most people say it's a forever remodel, but like I can go into that already knowing, like these are not sellers, these are my friends, these are going to be sphere.
Right.
And so you're kind of sorting them into the bucket just with them signing up for that free ticket.
It's a less invasive way to be like, hey, are you planning to buy or sell in the next 1 to 3 months? Like,
yeah, they're like, no, we're going to put a 30-year remodel on this house. And I'm like, okay.
See you in 2 years.
Got it.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head. Like, it's all about providing value.
Yeah.
Right? So when you are not fishing for a lead, when you are not trying to ask somebody for something, and you're honestly offering something valuable that they need to know and understand, they love it.
Yeah.
I love to do mid-size events. So I founded the Mompreneur Meetup, and that is because I'm a mom of 4. They're actually here. They snuck in.
Aw.
Sorry, Hillary. And, I was the primary child caregiver for my kids for the first 10 years of their lives, and I was running my business at the same time. And a lot of moms were coming to me, and they're just like, how the hell do you do that? Mm-hmm. Like, how are you doing all the kids stuff, sports, and running a successful real estate business? Well, I had gathered a lot of resources, a lot of tips. I've been taking coaching in real estate since I was 16 and implemented a lot of strategies to be able to accomplish a lot in a little amount of time. So in order to share my resources and in order to share my tips, I was like doing lunches with different mom groups and I'd be saying the same shit every single lunch. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this all together at one time, and let's all get together. Moms need somewhere to go to hang out with other moms who understand them. A lot of these moms, had husbands with full-time jobs, and they're like, where do I even fit in my career? Where do I get back some time?
Well, and you just reiterated what I said.
Yeah.
You noticed that there was a need, and you just acted on it. Like, you're paying attention, you're present, you're seeing what people are asking for in your community, and then and the opportunities are limitless, but you just provided a solution for that little core, and you turned it into a project.
Totally.
You filled the niche.
I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize like how much of a need there was for this until I started becoming a voice for it in our community. It grew. I mean, we would have like 75 to 100 women coming a month. I was bringing like TED Talk speakers. I mean, I had built a really amazing network for no money. We weren't charging for tickets. We weren't trying to charge subscription fees. I was like, it'll pay back somehow, and the networking was amazing. The women were amazing. Well, now I just closed last week a $3 million sale and a $5.1 million purchase off of a relationship I built here.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, if I spent about $300 each event, and I did 10 events a year for the last 2 years, $6,000. Even if I sold no other homes to any of the other women that came to these events, through Mompreneur Meetup, that net me over $200,000.
Yeah. I've also run a meetup in the past, and that's the other thing about events is like you can constantly grow and evolve. You're not quite as committed to other forms of marketing. And like I have ADD, I am like all over the place, and an event I can like, okay, I gotta focus for like a month.
Yeah.
And then after that month, I'm like, I'm done. I don't have to do this anymore. I could do something else. Like I could, oh my God, squirrel.
Yeah.
And
then because we're sick, we want to do it again.
yeah, and then you want to do it again if it was successful, and if it wasn't, you want to forget about it. But like you can chase squirrels all over the place and kind of do this. I've done a taco truck. I did boo boxes, which were candy boxes for Halloween's. Last week I closed a lease, and I look in the database, and I'm like, oh, I met her on boo boxes. I mean, this is just candy for Halloween, and you can do minuscule events, or you can kind of blow it up. And most of the time, most of the events, I would say, even if they're small, can end up in profiting somewhere down the line.
Absolutely.
Hopping on the boo events, I feel like it's just like social media, right? If it's not on your screen, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. So these events keep people coming back, keep seeing your logo. It's a much cheaper way. And I spent thousands on billboards, dumbest thing I've ever done. And I really would have benefited better from an event. I do think people would like to know, like your first mompreneur meetup, how many women actually showed up.
The first one, we had like 12 women there.
So sometimes you have to keep doing it, and then it'll become magnetic, and you can't just be like, oh, it didn't work the first time.
Right.
And then, 5 months, 12 months down the road, you blow up to $8 million in sales because of it.
And then just to like throw another thing out, now that we're post-COVID, people are, well, hopefully post-COVID, we're back to socializing at least. I think people are so hungry to get out that, I'm going to start doing a new resident meetup. I live in a tri-town area, Lafayette, Orinda, Moraga, up in the East Bay. And if people just moved to town and they know that they can come out once a month, every first Sunday or second Sunday, and meet everybody else who's new in town, like people come out for that kind of stuff.
Well, we were post-COVID 2 years ago in Florida, I think.
I know, right? Florida was like, anything goes.
But I love that you can be like literally squirrel, as multi-passionate about your events as you are in your life. And you get to reflect all of the different versions of you. You get to, drive events towards every single passion, purpose, niche, anything that you're interested in, and gather people that are interested in that as well. So, amazing.
And I think we should also bring up, charity events are also really important. This year, I'm focusing away from the party and trying to get more to serious community give back. And I became the social chair of an assistance league, and it's 400 elderly women. and you just go hang out with them and you talk to them about stuff and you volunteer and you make kits. But like I volunteered to be the social director, so now I inherently get to meet every single one of them.
But it fills your heart while you're doing it.
Well, it's like a combo. Yeah, you're taking on a role at the organization that needs to be fulfilled, but you're also socializing while you're doing it. So it's just a really nice way to be able to mix your passion without feeling like you're stuck behind a computer.
And it is a lot better than cold calling.
Yeah.
So show of hands, how many of you have not really ever used events to drive business? All right, hopefully we've given you a little push to start. So let's talk a little bit about what it takes to organize a successful event. Hosting events are going to enable you to expand awareness for your real estate brand. You'll gain leads and referrals, deepen connections with people you know. You will nurture new prospects, and you can actually convert leads live in person into closed transactions. So before planning your event, what you really need to tap into is identifying the purpose behind hosting that specific event, and then what your desired outcome is. I think not enough thought process goes into like, why am I actually doing this? Who am I trying to reach? You know, are you trying to do a neighborhood takeover? Are you trying to be the agent for all the families at a certain school or a sports league? Do you love puppies and you want to work with other people that have cute dogs because you want to pet them during your listing appointments? I mean,
Well, I think that whatever you're going to choose to do, whether it's a charitable cause, a support group for mom entrepreneurs, or just champion your favorite coffee shop, it's got to come natural to you, because if you don't believe in it, if you don't like it, you're not going to do it. So why subject yourself to something that you're not even passionate about?
amen. Yeah, definitely. I think it's all about being authentic. I know that's like the big buzzword of the whole last couple of years. But so many agents have serious cases of FOMO, you know, and we're always looking at what other agents are doing. We're like, oh, we need to do that because look how many houses they sold last year.
Oh, girl, my friend told me once, like, ooh, Leslie so-and-so had a bounce house party. And I was like, you went to another realtor's party?
Maybe I need to have a bounce house party now.
Well, yeah,
But doesn't it make you feel that way?
Yeah.
Do you guys get FOMO? Like when you look at other people's Instagrams, when you're like, I need to do what they're doing. But do you? Because that is not what is natural and real to you. You know, I feel like when you're trying to be like somebody else, it comes off as canned. And maybe it's not as fun for you. You know, people feel that. Like they generally can feel the energy behind your purpose.
I feel like on social media and stuff, I like to think I'm like, what you see is what you get. So if you throw something that's completely off brand for you, especially the people that really know you, they're gonna be like, one, we don't want to go because that sounds lame, or two, what's he trying to pull here?
Right.
Yeah.
What's he trying to pull here?
And I think we're all what you see is what you get, agents.
A little bit. I don't know what makes you think that. So what is an event, Paul, that you've thrown that is you really have a passion behind the purpose of it?
So recently, because it was the first time that it was back in 2 years, was the Humane Society of Broward County, which is, we're central. We have Miami south of us, Palm Beach north of us. We're right in the middle. And 2 of our dogs actually were adopted from there. Oh, I miss them. I'm going to cry. Our dog sitter's been sending us photos. But if my team could stand up for a second and show off our shirts. They say "so fetch" on them. If you don't know the reference, then get out of the room.
My first dog's name was Bruiser. Can I just
Bruiser Woods. And what we did was we chose to sponsor the event. It costs a lot of money to sponsor an event where thousands of people are coming, but I felt like it aligned really with what we personally believed in, because we're all animal lovers here. We all have dogs. One of us has a cat. It's all cool. But we all love animals, and it was really something easy to get behind. And what we did was, in addition to sponsoring it, we also rallied a team, which they call it a pack, for the event. And we invited all our friends, our clients, our family to not just be there, the person like giving a check, but to really show up, hey, we're bringing the dogs, we're having a great time, this is what we believe in. And the way we set it up was the way we collected information was we filled up this massive, giant bottle of milk bones. And we had people guess how many milk bones it was. And all they had to do was fill out the form, answer a few questions, throw out the teenagers that filled it out, because that doesn't really matter. But we probably got 100, 150 leads, if you want to call it that, real information that came in through that we can now connect with and invite to the next Humane Society event.
That is awesome. I love that you connected with such a big organization too. It's very recognizable. People are comfortable with it. They've probably already been to another event or they've had a personal experience. So then they easily connect with you through knowing that organization.
And like everyone knows Humane Society. It's not some obscure random charity that no one's heard of. So it kind of puts a little bit of weight in seeing your brand associated with that one.
For sure. And I know, Christina, that you are very passionate about educating people. Is that, something that you've been focusing on a lot?
I like to do the education route. The flyer up there for the Death and Donuts, I partnered with an estate attorney, came to my backyard. She did a great presentation. When you're partnering with people and doing education, you're like standing on the shoulders of giants. Like, you don't have to know, you have to get them there. They're going to come and educate your people. You look good, you're socializing, you have people coming to your events over and over, you're building the relationship, but you don't have to come up with the content. And that's really nice because, if you have a strong skill set of connecting people or putting together the event, like, you may not have the content to stand there and say, I'm going to educate you on a particular topic. But that doesn't mean you can't create the situation in which you're educating people on the topic.
I love that you did that too.
It's like my
when you first
workaround.
told us about Death and Donuts, I was like, oh my God, she's inviting people to a funeral home.
So many people were like, and I like everything to be kitschy and cheerful and like a little bit of like, what is she doing? Like Death and Donuts?
I love that. Death and donuts.
Yeah, it was fun. It was 10 of us, and it was in my backyard. And my house is super cute, so anytime I can get someone to come over, and then they're like, "Oh, your house is so cute," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you, really." And not sorry.
I invite people to my house too, so they can compliment me.
Yeah, I'm like, come on over and just see how cute my house is, please.
What I love about your events, though, and something I never thought that we would align with, is that you create these intimate settings where, we're not trying to talk to 200 people at one time. And I'll tell you, this Humane Society thing was a zoo.
Yeah.
You're getting quality one-on-one time where people appreciate the knowledge that you've brought to the table. And that's just a facet of what you can accomplish in these different event types.
I love that.
Yeah, well, we all agreed not to say the word budget without laughing.
I know.
I will teach you how to blow a budget if you'd like.
Yeah, we're up here to teach you how to blow a budget. We were going to discuss budgets, and then we all started laughing hysterically. We're like,
I have a master's
What's
in it.
that? No. I love the education aspect as well. We, to serve like the millennial community, we created an event called Adulting 101, and we brought together, just like you said, we brought together a financial planner, a lender, we pulled in from title and escrow, and all of these people. They brought down the cost of the event, and they just came to answer the most basic questions that millennials had just leading up to, what do you need to do to get your ducks in a row to eventually buy? This is not necessarily an immediate purchase. It actually ended up resulting in 2 immediate purchases, but we had people there.
But what you did was
I really like that idea.
She did strangers on a train, because sometimes you can tell your client, well, you need to do this, and then you need to stop buying that, and they're not going to believe you. But if someone else who's in that position shoots them for you, they're going to be like, oh, like, I told you that like 5 times.
Right.
Well, and in that situation, you're all working the lead. So if the lender gets something, he can ping you, or the financial planner can ping. Like, you guys can agree that whatever leads are generated in that forum are
Everybody
round
wins.
robin.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody
And
wins.
you know what else happened there too is those people went out and they were like, oh my God, I know what escrow means now. Like, did you know that you need to do this on your taxes? And then so they were going out and educating their friends, and they're like, wait, what is this? When's the next one?
I thought escrow was snails.
Escrow is snails.
Escargot. Gotcha. Got it. I got it. I got you. This guy. Okay, so we're just here to have a good time. Okay, budget.
Hey, wait, hang on.
Go.
Let me represent the East Bay a little bit.
Okay,
so
let's
Gina was not able to come, and she does a really amazing event. It's in her backyard. It's gotten so big year over year that now people are on a wait list to get tickets. It sells out. She says it's like a crazy zoo. What is her?
Oh, it's like
It's
the
dogs.
Humane Society of her area.
Yeah, it's also animals. So, fur babies.
They're thinking of charging just to
And
put
now-
a barrier for entry.
Just a barrier for entry. They're thinking about charging, and I'm sure her house is cute too, or she wouldn't have people over there. But yeah, I know that Gina's like primary event, and she does a lot of smaller ones as well, like little one-offs. Is this event that's now gotten so big that she's really well known
Yeah.
for it, a major donor to the organization, and has people asking for tickets like months in advance.
And there are people like within the local government and like
Mayor,
pretty
yeah, she
well-named,
did say
yeah,
the mayor would come. Yeah.
show up. Is anyone from Elation here? Is the event insane? Yup.
Oh, tell Gina where we tried to represent.
How do we get tickets to that?
Yeah, I don't want to pay though.
We don't want to pay. We don't need to be part of the barrier.
Open bar.
Yeah.
That's
open
how you
bar.
blow a budget, by the way.
Yeah, that's actually 100% accurate. Okay, so Paul, Christina, what guidelines do you follow guidelines when deciding on a budget?
I am like an
first.
intuitive squirrel chaser. I think you are too. I sort of keep piling things on, and then at the end, I'm like, well, you did this, you might as well do this, and you might as well. I do gift bags at open houses, though. Like, I kind of go bananas. Once I get in and I get deeper, I just start piling it all on just to do it right.
Same. Like I actually, I know I joke about blowing a budget here, but what I try to do is, what is the scale of the event? Is it a mid-sized event? Is it a big Humane Society event? And I also look at, is it our personal sphere, like a client appreciation event, or is it outside of that where we're trying to reach new people? And I try to think, all right, per person, what should this cost be? Is it $5 a head? Is it $50 a head? Because we cover that range, and it's you gotta kind of think, okay, if I bought the lead on Zillow or from wherever, can I justify meeting this many people? And it kind of actually helps you go after the people, be engaged during the event, because you want to shake as many hands, have as many conversations as possible, and then that $5 or $10 or $20 or $50 a head really turns into something of value.
Well, and I think one way I sometimes look at it is I'm like, I wouldn't mind blowing a commission check on an event. So if your average commissions are $25,000, like, it's pretty reasonable to spend one commission check as your budget.
I do that too.
Depending on what time of year you're in. But if you're in a market where your commission check is $5,500 or your price point or wherever you are in your career, just like, hey, I'm going to take one commission check and I'm going to blow it on an event. And that kind of helps you have a guideline because you know what you could potentially earn. And then your goal is, okay, if I just get one escrow out of that, even if it takes 12 months, I just sort of refilled that part of my bank account that I took out.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, let me go get a lease real quick.
I love that. And I think it's also really important to consider at the event, what kind of information are you collecting and what kind of attendees are going to be there? What's their price range going to be? So for me, when another organizational tactic I use is when we're doing the event invites and the signups, am I collecting an address? Am I collecting, if they are a buyer or seller? We use Eventbrite. We use a landing page that goes directly to a CRM. So it takes a little bit of the friction out of the follow-up process. What else do you guys use?
Well, I'm excited because now we have Follow Up Boss.
I'm going to sign up with Follow Up Boss. I'm going to get rid of Rust. I'm really passionate about mail. I've been obsessed with the mail since I was like 5. I send out birthday cards, but everything I do is in the mail, and most people in my community are trained to know, like, they ask me, are you sending any more mail? They will always open what I put in the mail because it's cute, it's one-off, it's designed, it's quirky. The flap often says, "Open me." And even if I'm doing things digitally or social media, I always want to go in the mail because nobody gets anything good in the mail. And when they do, they open it and they're like, "What is this?" And you have their attention in a way that you don't on a screen, even if it's just for a few minutes. And I've been to people's houses so many times. Another agent today told me, "Your New Year's card from 2 years ago is on my computer in my office." One of the main, a very successful partner here. And 2 years later, people are walking up to me, they're like, "I still have your mail." So I really like that moment you get, because people choose when they want to open the mail, they choose when they check their mail, they have a minute to do it, they walk out to their mailbox to get it. And you kind of,
It's something tangible.
you capture them, they're holding it, it feels nice, it's not flimsy, it's colorful, it's cheerful, and that gets your name in front of them.
So for collecting data or registration, depending on if it's pre or post or during the event, one of the things we do for, I'll reference the movie night that we had. We rented out an iPic theater. We had everyone there for the Lion King premiere of the live action one. That wasn't that great. But what we did was, in order to buy into that, because it was geared towards our clients with families, with kids, is we need you to fill this out. We already know who you are, but I need you to go take your review and post it on these 3 websites. And if you haven't already done it, because I'm really bad at following up with reviews, which I know you haven't, you're going to do it now, and that's going to confirm your ticket for the event.
Ooh,
so
I like
with that, we kind of cleaned up the current database and got all the reviews in. And now that everything's switching to Google, I'm going to have to do it again. So, it kind of is a nice way to engage. It also confirms it, because sometimes people will confirm and you spent the money but they don't show up, so it gives a little bit of an extra barrier there. And then with Free Coffee Sunday, because most of these people are strangers and new people, it's, like I said, not very invasive. It's their name, their email, their phone number, and then we ask what city or neighborhood they live in. Do you rent here, own here, vacation here, or neither? And then the last question is, do you plan on renting, owning, selling, or investing? Or I'm just here for the free coffee, because it disarms them a little bit.
And you at least know.
Exactly.
Here for the coffee.
This guy's more organized than me. I'm on my phone texting my virtual assistant all the time. RSVP, Paul Ringon, he's coming to Death and Donuts. Make sure you tag him in copper, period. That's me.
Don't
I'm like,
do that.
okay, I'm texting my assistant sometimes still.
Yeah.
At least you're using a CRM, because if I could go back to my day one in real estate and talk to myself, the one thing that I would tell myself is start using a CRM from day one.
I was on Excel spreadsheets for almost 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
If I could go
I
back
literally was on Excel spreadsheets for 15 years.
Yeah, we're the same.
I wrote it right here. That's
Yeah.
Same.
back when you had to pay for Microsoft Excel.
Literally. But I mean, do you guys know what the best CRM is? Shout out your favorite CRM. You're all wrong. The best CRM is the one you use. You were right. So if you don't have a large contact list, that's okay. Throwing events in your local community, this is a really good way for you to meet new people and build out your database. So I know you guys are doing a lot of community events. We already talked about some of them. Have these community events introduce you to new people and brought them into your sphere?
Yeah.
Referrals.
100%. I have a fan club that's never bought or sold with me, but they always want to connect me with people just because they liked our event.
And I have, like, everyone knows. What did you say earlier? You don't have to know everybody, but everyone has to know you.
Spoiler alert.
I love it.
You don't have to know everyone. Everyone just has to know you. And these events are all about that.
I love that. And I know you both do a lot of charity events as well. So you already touched on a charity event that you're doing. And you did Humane Society.
Did the Humane Society. I think that will become an annual thing. And
I love that.
I think it'll grow and grow each year, yeah.
So for Filipino American History Month, we started Kapwa Collective, which was to fundraise for Filipino mental health organizations and disaster relief. And through that, we brought together a lot of Filipino-owned small businesses in San Diego. We gave chefs and restaurants a chance to feed everybody. Everyone came for the lumpia. 100%. But they stayed to buy things from people. And the businesses that couldn't be involved, I encouraged them to donate raffle prizes so that they could highlight their company. And in that process, imagine the number of people. We had like 3 different news organizations come out just because it was Filipino American History Month and we were a great piece of news. We had 300 attendees. We had 15 businesses come. Their staff came. You know, we had people randomly shopping. And now we have all of this amazing thing. We now, this year, it's turned into an invite to collaborate with Moster Coffee. And they're doing a huge, like thousands and thousands of people anniversary event. And we're gonna do a Kapwa Collective on the outside of it. It's gonna be like with Apple the App, from the Black Eyed Peas. It's gonna turn into a big shebang.
Yeah, we're planning on flying in.
Yeah, you are.
I will be there for that one too.
Okay, done. There's gonna be some other fun stuff, so. Okay, so I know we are running a little bit out of time, but I wanted to ask you guys, what is your most memorable seasonal or client appreciation event that you do?
Well, we did one right before March 2020 that I really liked. I think we have a little clip of it, and it was so much fun. And what I like about these things, you have forever marketing pieces, by the way, when you do these events. So you have the photos to go back on, the video, and these can all be snippets that you use for years to come, or if it's an annual thing, in preparation for the next one. So I finished the video on this in the middle of lockdown, and I sent it out to everyone, and I said, oh, the good old days when we were enjoying rolling around in everyone's filth. So you can get a this was our bounce event. That's about it.
Oh, so fun. I can't stop it.
Double click. Green one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we did it.
Yay.
A lot of adults hurt themselves that day.
But
we had fun.
I would have been one of them. So we did a seasonal event that was really cool in our community. During COVID, we actually came up with it, and we couldn't get together, so we did a Christmas home decorating contest. And it was like for the entire community, which has like 10,000 homes. And we had people send us their addresses if they wanted to be judged. We'd put a sign in their yard and say, oh, participating in the Avenue Home Collective's Christmas decorating event. All these people were like, my neighbor's decorations suck, mine are better, so I'm going to also participate in this event. It was a $1,000 prize. And we ended up getting so many people submitting their home, their phone number, their email, because this is all a way to collect friends that you can drop into your drip campaign so they can get to know you, add you on social media, become familiar with you, know, like, and trust you, and buy and sell homes with you. So we have had so much fun hearing about all of your awesome events. I know we're running short on time, so I just wanted to talk about, well, not your key takeaway.
We talk a lot. We knew that would happen.
Well, it was so good you can say it again. Go ahead.
My key takeaway was you don't have to know everyone. They just have to know you. So keep that in mind. Your exposure it's not even just that person, it's that person times 3 or 5 others, because you want to engage with them. You give them like a great event to post and share with everyone. It's just going to come back when you least expect it.
I love that. And Christina, what do you have to say?
Mine is just roll with it. Just do it. If you have an idea, even if it's small, better if it's small, because you gain confidence. I mean, invite 8 people to go somewhere, invite 25 people to go somewhere, buy 24 tickets to a movie. You don't have to rent out a whole theater. Like, just do something, gain a little bit of confidence, move on to the next one, find the next squirrel. But don't not do something because you feel stressed out that you're not, single-handedly funding the Humane Society in any community that you're living in. Just go do something, because you're going to take that little baby step and you're going to feel good, and you're probably better off starting off with something small and being successful and moving on the same way you were in your real estate career.
Oh, I have more, because I don't think linearly. It's like spaghetti in my head. but don't try to do it by yourself. Lean on your team, be organized. I recently discovered the joy of spreadsheets. So have a lead-up plan, a pre-event, during event, and post-event plan. Still working on it. It's not about perfection. It's just about putting yourself out there and, getting someone to shove you out of your comfort zone.
I love that. So for me, I would say really focus on the fun, focus on you, weave your purpose and your passion into your business. Create events that reflect you, because this is going to allow you an opportunity to be genuine, and it gives you a long-lasting business that you love. So, my last Zillow buyer might not call me again, but I know that a business owner that I gave an opportunity to introduce to an entire community of people is going to send me business for life. And I think this is a guaranteed way to make long-lasting sales and create a business that you can count on forever and ever.
And have fun, because there's so many ways to market that aren't fun.
Would you have even come here if we weren't going to Disney and having fun with an open bar? You had to incorporate the fun into it.
This is true. We have all enjoyed the side-by-side at Disneyland this year. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us, and can't wait to see you all at the next side event.
Do we need to take questions, or are we out of time?
Well, I think we're out of time, but if anybody has any questions, we might be able to squeeze them in. Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if I was going to go.
Yes.
When it comes to, I love everything you're talking about, and I love parties, so sign me up. But
You can hang out with us.
trying to pick a pocket in a neighborhood, like I live in the suburbs, there's so many homes. There's four corners. Like, how do you pick and focus on? You don't know anybody there. How do you pick and focus on one?
I think this is good for you.
Yeah, this is good for me. I broke into my market. I'm not from there. It's a very upscale community where most realtors got their businesses from their parents or longstanding, growing up in the community. And I kind of came out of nowhere and just started picking and choosing and kind of fighting for market share where I'm at. I do it psychographically. I think not about a demographic or a geographic area, but I built a database off my Facebook contacts, actually, primarily. I had my assistant do that. And then I just started growing it out, what makes sense. You don't want to hit a whole neighborhood because the 90-year-old grandfather is not coming to your event. So it makes a lot more sense to figure out who your acquaintances are on Facebook, right? And
Create audiences.
Yeah.
and then you just bring those people closer and closer and closer into you one step at a time, especially if you're not from there, you're trying to break into a marketplace, or you move somewhere else, or you have an agent on your team that's in a marketplace that you're not familiar with, and they want you to help them grow there.
So the question actually was for the people in the back, how do you choose a neighborhood if you have so many neighborhoods, especially in the suburbs, and they're scattered? And I think depending on your event, and you can even tailor something to this where you can have a 2-month lead up with posters in your local coffee shops or stores or whatever, anyone that will let you put something up like that. Use the Meetup app, post an event on Facebook, put in an Eventbrite, and then just run a really inexpensive $20 a week ad on Instagram, because we've had people register for our coffee event that I'm like, it's exciting because you don't know these people, but you saw that they came in through a social media outlet, and that would be a good way to kind of cover all your bases, if you will, and then kind of see where you then focus your energy.
Absolutely. And it's all about serving that community. What do they need? Listening to the audience. Anybody else?
Song? It is on? Yeah.
Yes.
I did not hear that question, but it seems the question is very similar. Is it Christina?
Christina.
You probably know. I live in Los Altos. In Los Altos, there are lots of top agents that are very dominating the market. So I do have some involvement to the community, but it's very difficult to take a piece from those top agents because they've been living there for 20, 30 years and they have a very deep root in the society. So similar situation, I choose a farm that's not too far, like a Sunnyvale area. I'm not in that community. How do we do planning events in the neighborhood community, not in my own community.
Nobody knows where you live, like really. Well, maybe people who follow me on Strava, because I leave from my house every day, and I'm like, people know where I live, but no one
Seems
knows
safe.
where you live.
Yeah.
No one knows where you live
Just
when you
because
invite
don't
them
live
somewhere.
there doesn't mean you can't host an event there. You can find out what's going on at the local park. You can reach out to Park and Rec in that area. You can host.
I would be happy to help you maybe create a list. Like I kind of have a way, it feels like intuitive. Like at my next event, I'm inviting the people who bought in the community in the last 12 months. Because I'm like, well, they probably want to remodel. So I think every event is different. Like if you're trying to target new people who have just moved there, of course you're not going to get their business, but you might get their referral business. Then you might want the list of people who just moved in 12 months ago. But if you're going to do something catered to older people, you're going to want to pull a list from your title. Like your title rep is your best friend. You're going to want to pull a list of people who've lived in the community for more than 25 years. So I actually go through these lists and I'm constantly editing. And if you see a list of 8,000 people and you've got to start cutting people out, like you'll start working through processes to pick and choose who you're going to cut out. But my favorite database is the one I made through my Facebook page, and I hunted people down online. I got their birthdays,
Full
all of
stalker
that
mode.
stuff. Yeah, full stalker mode, full complete stalker mode. I didn't stalk. My assistant stalked, so I still feel innocent. But that's actually my primary database that I go through, and it's only 800 people. But I keep going through that list and keeping it clean. So maybe starting with the people that you know who are nearby you.
And you said you're in you don't live in Sunnyvale, but you want to target them for events, yes?
Yeah.
I think one of your greatest resources could actually be the city website where it has events listed, or even just community events or nonprofits that are involved there, and then you can then piggyback on those.
Exactly.
Something that we're doing
Become a
is,
sponsor.
yeah, one of the beachside towns has something called Untapped that one of our agents brought to our attention, and we're planning to, they have it every month, but you don't want to, 4 weeks goes by really fast. We connected with them. It's less than $50 to put a tent up there. And what we're doing is we're not selling anything, but we're giving away things and taking donations for the Humane Society. So you're providing koozies to people that are holding drinks. Your operating costs for that event are really low. And then you have something that's already scheduled that you can work into your calendar and build your brand in a community that you don't even live in.
I would really look at collaborating with local businesses in that area. Look for people who are business owners who are well connected deeply in the community and find a way to serve that business. If you can serve that business, you will serve their community.
Well, I also like Assistance League. It's in a lot of, I don't know if it's nationwide, but it's in a lot of major metropolis areas. It's a organization that typically fundraises for their own community. So like every fundraiser, every project, every teenage box, like rape kits, baby kits, like they cover all these different bases, school lunch boxes, weekend food for school kids in need, clothes. But with Assistance League in particular, that all of the work stays in the county and is done by people in the county for the county. And that I looked around at many, many, many organizations to volunteer with and talk to friends and evaluated like where do I want to go for like a synergy group. And because this was really focused on my county, that's the one that I chose. And they have a chapter out by you as well. It's fulfilling, but it's also kind of just nice to know that if you're looking for something regional and you want to contain your efforts regionally, like you can find someone who focuses a nonprofit like right where you are.
Been a lot of great answers, so I look forward to seeing what you do next year.
Yeah. And I will say, you guys, so sorry we were running out of time, but I know all of us are willing to share. You can find me at Mel Knows on Instagram.
See Paul Go, SEEPAULGO, and we're actually talking about putting a mastermind group together for side partners and agents.
For events.
Mastermind.
Yeah, let's
That's
just
your
be an
favorite
open
word.
book. I hate the word mastermind.
That's your favorite
but
word.
Let's do it.
Join my
So
mastermind.
feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help you answer any questions. That's what I love about the side community. Thank you guys so much, and have a great rest of your day.